and gentlemen, welcome to Universitas Negeri Jakarta, second floor of UNJ Sport Arena. The event is about to commence in a few moments, so to all the attendees, please be seated well and kindly set your mobile phones to silent or vibrate mode. Thank you.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. The Honorable Professor Dr. Komarudin MSI, Rector of Universitas Negeri Jakarta. The array of Vice Rector, Deans, and Postgraduate Director.
And all of our guests, welcome to the second International Conference on Sports Sciences and Physical Education and Health 2024. It's an honor for me, Jovita Elvira, and my partner,
Ahmad Syahal,
from Duta Universitas Negeri Jakarta, to be your host for today's event.
After we went through the extraordinary people, we also congratulate for all the participants we have received the awards, and thank you for your participation and enthusiasm.
Next will be our third plenary session with our keynote speaker, Dr. Sobia Hassan from Iqra University, Pakistan, and will be moderated by Dr. Rizky Nurulfa, MPD. But as the Indonesian proverb says, tak kenal maka tak sayang. So it means if you don't know, then you won't love. So I will introduce you first to Dr. Rizky Nurulfa. So Dr. Rizky Nurulfa is one of the lecturers from the Faculty of Sports Sciences, Universitas Negeri Jakarta. And she's also a PhD student at Riga Stradiņš University, Latvia, and University of Pécs, Hungary. So please welcome Dr. Rizky Nurulfa. The time is yours.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good morning, everyone. It's an honor for me to moderate this morning session. Allow me to introduce myself. My name is Rizky Nurulfa. I'm a lecturer in physical education, Faculty of Sport Science in here. Good morning, Dr. Sofia.
Good morning.
How are you today?
Fine.
Okay, great. All right, honorable speaker, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, I would like to welcome you to all this conference. On this occasion, we would like to have presentation from Dr. Sobia Hassan. Before we begin the presentation, allow me to introduce our amazing speaker, Dr. Sobia Hassan. Let me read your short profile first, Doctor. Okay, she's completed her PhD in sports science and also Master of Science in Physical Therapy and Bachelor of Science Major Physical Therapy from University of Karachi, Pakistan. All right. She also has a lot of experience as an assistant professor, consultant physiotherapist, vice principal, and senior lecturer at Hayat Institute of Rehabilitation Medicine, Pakistan, and also senior therapist in Halim Hospital, Karachi. And additionally, she has written many scientific articles in field of therapy, rehabilitation, and health. Okay, without further ado, I would like to welcome our amazing speaker who has a lot of experience in physical therapy and health. Uh, Dr. Sophia, the floor is yours. Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
I look forward to the insightful discussion and collaboration that will emerge from this conference. Okay, today I would like to discuss the challenges and opportunities that lie ahead in shaping the future golden generation, those who will lead our society into 2045 and beyond. Can you start? Not delaying. Okay. Uh, First of all, what is the role of physical education in shaping the golden generation, and what do you mean by the golden generation? Basically, the physical education provides a strong foundation for a healthy and active lifestyle, promoting physical, mental, and social well being. It fosters teamwork, discipline, and resilience, essential qualities for a successful future. We have a four factors and four boundaries which we cover in the golden generation for shaping. First of all, improve physical education. Second, enhance cognitive function. Number third one is social development, and the number fourth one is positive self-esteem. How to improve physical education? When we do the regular physical activities, strengthen the body, reducing the risk of chronic diseases. Enhance cognitive function. Physical activity basically improves brain function, memory, and concentration, enhancing academic performance. And what does social development do? Physical education foster teamwork, communication, and social skill, preparing individual for collaborative environment. And what is positive self-esteem? Basically, it achieving a goal and mastering physical skill build confidence and self-esteem, empowering individual. Next. Okay, how to integrate physical education, sports science, and sustainable health practice. Basically, a successful approach to shaping the golden generation require integrating physical education, sports science, and sustainable health practice into a holistic framework. What is holistic framework? Basically, it is work on three basic things that would be a physical education, sports science, and sustainable health. Uh, in physical education, laying the foundation for a healthy and active lifestyle, fostering physical, mental, and social well-being. Sports sciences, enhancing athletic performance, promoting athlete well-being, and supporting injury prevention and rehabilitation. And in sustainable health, promoting holistic wellness, encompassing physical, mental, and environmental factor, fostering a healthy relationship with ourselves and the planet. Next. Okay, what is the importance of sports in holistic health? Basically, sports contribute significantly to holistic health by promoting physical fitness, reducing stress, and enhancing mental well-being. Regular physical activity improves cardiovascular health, boosts immunity, and combat chronic diseases. Sport also fosters social connections and provides a sense of accomplishment, leading to increased self-esteem and emotional resilience. These all cover physical health, mental health, and social benefit. Next. Okay. What is the advancement in sports sciences and how enhance athletic performance and well-being? Basically, a sports sciences is a multidisciplinary field that encompasses physiology, biomechanics, nutrition, psychology, and technology. Its application enhances athletic performance and promote athlete well-being. How? First of all, performance optimization. Sports scientists help athlete maximize their potential by analyzing movement pattern, optimizing training program, and ensuring proper nutrition. Injury prevention and rehabilitation, biomechanics analysis, and strength training help prevent injury, while rehabilitation programs uh, ensure safe return to a competition. Mental toughness, sports psychology technique help athletes manage stress, enhance focus, and develop mental resilience for optimal performance. Okay, next. Okay, how to cover the sustainable health initiative for the golden and how to integrate the initiative for the golden generation. First of all, promoting physical activity, healthy eating habits, environment sustainability. How to promote physical activity, encouraging lifestyle modification through public awareness campaign, accessible sports facilities, and community-based initiatives. Healthy eating habit, educating the public about balanced diet, portion control, and the benefit of fresh produce and healthy cooking. How to environment sustainability, promoting green spaces, clean air, and sustainable practice to foster a healthy and vibrant environment for all. Next, please. Accessible and inclusive sport initiative. What is accessible and how and what type of inclusive sports initiative? Basically, the promoting the accessible and inclusive sports initiative is essential for creating a society where everyone can participate in physical activity. This include providing adaptive equipment, accessible facilities, and inclusive program that cater to program to with disabilities and diverse backgrounds. What type of adaptive equipment, modification, and specialized tool for individual with disabilities? If we have a disabled people, we have to modify some type of adaptive equipment. Uh, Accessible facilities, just like of a wheelchair ramp, accessible restroom, and other amenities. What type of inclusive program? Program designed to welcome individuals of all abilities and background. Next, please. Okay, sustainable sport infrastructure for the future. How to build and how to build a sustainable sports infrastructure. Basically, building a sustainable sport infrastructure is a crucial for the long-term viability of the industry. This includes utilizing renewable energy resources, implementing energy efficient design, and minimizing environmental impact through responsible waste management and water conservation. These all four cover to build a sustainable sport infrastructure for the future. For example, in the renewable energy, harnessing the solar, wind, or geothermal power. And in the energy efficient design, minimizing energy consumption through building design. And in the third point is the responsible waste management, basically recycling and compositing to reduce landfill waste. And water conservation, implementing water saving measure in facilities. Next, please. Okay, how to foster a culture of a lifelong physical activity. We should promote a culture of lifelong physical activity requiring a multifaceted approaches These include integrating sports into school curricula, offering accessible community program, and encouraging family to engage in physical activity together. Creating supportive environment where physical activity is valued and accessible can help individual develop healthy habits that last a lifetime. Okay, next please. Okay, the most important uh, topic I cover the what are the challenges and opportunities in the development of sports sciences in Pakistan. We have a many type of challenges we bear. The few one is the lack of infrastructure. Basically, the Pakistan is an underdeveloped country. Pakistan faces challenges in providing adequate sport facility, coaching, and resources. We have very limited funding, insufficient government and private sector investment, restrict access to the advanced training and technology. We have a very limited lack of awareness. Public understanding of the importance of sports sciences and its role in achieving athletic excellence need to be improved. Emerging opportunities, the digital age of effort. We should understand we are on the digital age and we have lacking the emerging opportunities in the digital age, offer promising opportunities to bridge the gap through online training resources, data analytics, and remote coaching. Next, please. I have an example. I have a case study in the recent, the Arshad Nadeem case study. Basically, his background is from the village. Arshad Nadeem is a Pakistani javelin thrower who has achieved international recognition for his exceptional athletic abilities. Nadeem's success is attributed to the application of advanced sports sciences technique, including biomechanics, strength training, and mental performance coaching. What impact on the environment? His achievement inspire aspiring athletes in Pakistan and showcase the potential of sports sciences to produce world-class performers. We should need, if we have a different, if we have a good infrastructure and we have a good collaboration, we have many sportsmen like the Arshad Nadeem. Next, please. Okay, how integrating sports science and technology for optimal results. Data driven training, basically in these type of training, sportsmen's wearable technology and data analytics provide valuable insight into athlete performance, facilitating personalized training plans. The next one is a virtual simulation. Uh, Virtual simulation, basically immersive VR experience allow athlete to practice skill and strategies in safe control environment. All-powered coaching, artificial intelligence analyzes data and provide real-time feedback, helping athlete improve technique and maximize performance. Robotic assistance, advanced robotic can assist in rehabilitation, injury prevention, and performance enhancement, optimizing training outcome. These are the integrating sports science technology for we have getting a optimal results. Next, please. Opportunity in the digital age of sports sciences in Pakistan. Basically, the digital age offers existing opportunity for the development of sports sciences in Pakistan. Digital technology provider access to knowledge resources and training tools that were previously unavailable. Just like of an online learning platform, access to online courses, webinar, workshops enable professionals to stay current with the latest advancement. Data analytics and performance tracking. These type of digital tools allow athletes and coaches to track performance metrics, analyze data, and optimize training strategies. Virtual reality and simulation, as I discussed before, these simulations provide an immersive training experience, allowing athletes to practice skill and strategies in a safe and a controlled environment. Next, please. Ach- The importance of collaboration in sports science development. What are the importance of collaboration in sports science? We just encourage the university industry partnership, collaboration between university and sport organizations, foster knowledge transfer, research, innovations, and practical application. Government support investment in sports sciences initiative, infrastructure development, and training program is crucial for progress. Community engagement, engaging local community like school, sports club, promote grassroots participation, and foster a culture of a physical activity. International collaboration, this is very important. Learning from an international experts, sharing best practices, uh, and participating in a global research initiative strengthen the sports sciences ecosystem. Next, please. Okay. Iqra University contribution to the science ecosystem in Pakistan. How Iqra University's contribution? It works on the cutting edge program. Iqra University offers innovative support science program that equip students with the latest knowledge and skills. We have a research and development area. The university conduct research on various aspects of sports sciences, contributing the advancement of the field in Pakistan. We have the industry collaboration. Iqra University partners with the sport organization to provide practical training opportunities and promote the application of sports science principles. We have a community outreach, the university organization, workshops, and events to raise awareness about the importance of sports sciences and promote healthy lifestyles. Next, please. I think this is the last one, and I hope you understand how to come in the digital age and how to come in the golden age generation and what are the strategies to combat the generation 2045. Thank you. Okay, conclusion. This is the conclusion unlocking the potential of the golden generation 25 by embarrassing a holistic approach that integrates physical education, sports science, and sustainable health practices. We can unlock the potential of the golden generation 2045, empowering them to lead healthy, fulfilling lives.
All right.
That's all.
Thank you very much for your informative presentation. Now, I would like to invite for all participants, both in online or offline, to address your question to Dr. Sobia Hassan. Oh yeah. Once again, Dr. Sobia, I would like to say congratulations for your Olympic winner in javelin throw in Olympic 2024. Test? Am I audible? Oh, all right. Yeah, I would like to express my gratitude for you, for your athlete, Olympic athlete, javelin throw. Congratulations for won the gold medal in Olympic 2024. Okay. Yes. Okay, we have question from the audience. Please.
Check.
Okay, we have one question. First question, please.
Di sini aja.
Okay, please introduce yourself and address the question.
Hello, I'm Raisa from University State of Jakarta. I have a question. What a curriculum do you prefer to unlocking golden era in 2045? Thank you.
Dr. Sobia, did you get it? Sorry, we can't hear you, doctor.
Rating by making it compulsory part of curriculum, ensuring that it is treated with the same importance as an academic subject. Program should be designed to engage students of all abilities and should include activity that like of a teamwork, discipline, and a love of physical activity. Uh, when we integrate, when we include in the curriculum, in the early age of the children, should adapt all the activities in the early age in the school life. Therefore, it is mandatory to integrate the school curricula, to revise the school curricula regarding the physical education. I'm not audible.
In Pakistan, how long the PE class, how long it's take the time? In each period or every week? So in Pakistan, how long the physical education class it's take? Like how many hours a week? Am I audible? No. I, I still can hear you, doctor, sorry. It's still mute, doctor. Check, can you hear me, doc? I think it's still mute on your mic. Doc, hello? Hello, Dr. Sofia? Yeah, we have to wait for a while, the audience. I'm sorry, we have a small problem
Hello?
in, oh yeah.
Hello?
Yes, yes, Dr. Sofia. I will repeat my question is, how long the physical education class it's take in Pakistan? Like how many hours a week? Mm, 6 to 8 in the morning, you mean? Sorry. All right. I think we have another question, Dr. Sofia, from the audience, please.
Okay, I
Yeah,
have one
please come forward.
question. Thank you. Tenang, tenang. Okay, thank you very much. I have a question. Okay, thank you very much. Actually, I have two questions. The first is, uh, what is the implementation social emotional learning? Because in Indonesia it's very very popular about social emotional learning in golden age 2045. That is the first question. The second question is what the curriculum physical education in Pakistan. If I know about that, maybe we can compare physical education curriculum in Pakistan and Indonesia. Okay, I read it again. The first is uh, about Shell itu social emotional learning, implementation social emotional learning, and the second is about curriculum in Pakistan. I mean physical education curriculum in Pakistan. Maybe we can compare between Indonesia and in Pakistan. If I know about curriculum in there. Okay, thank you very much. Thank you.
Yeah. All right. Thank you, Pak Aan. Yeah. Okay, Dr. Sofia, can I repeat the question?
There is problem about you heard my question. Oh, I see.
All right.
You can repeat my question to
Yes, yes, I
Dr.
will.
Sophia.
But maybe if you,
Maybe someone here boarding see my face. Okay. Thank you very much.
yeah, but if you're not satisfied enough, you can add some question, Mr. An. Okay, I'm sorry, ladies and gentlemen, the audience, we have some network issue. We will solve it in a few seconds. Wait for a while. Thank you. All right, ladies and gentlemen, Dr. Sylvia, she's presenting about the physical activity related to the technology as well, and she also shared with us the development or the achievement that's one of the best athlete in Pakistan that won the gold medals, and she give a little secret how he get that and what the how to reach that. So she talked about the implementation in physical activity and implementation of technology as well in there, so that athlete can achieve the gold medals in Olympic 2024. So in order to conduct this second international seminar, we collaborate with some of university from around the world, from Africa, and then from Latvia, from Hungary, and also from Malaysia. All right, for the audience in YouTube, we apologize that we have a network issue. Hopefully, Dr. Sofia can join with us no longer more. Okay, we have to wait for a while. Dr. Sofia try to rejoin with us. Maybe later, besides you asking about the physical education, because she has a lot of experience in physical therapy, maybe we can ask her deeply about the physical therapy, because I saw in her CV she has a lot of experience in there. All right. Dr. Sofia, are you with us?
Yes, sorry.
Okay. Okay, thanks, Fully. All right. Dr. Sofia, may I repeat the question from Mr. Aan? Am I audible? Yes, all right. The first question is about the implementation of the social emotional learning in physical education in Pakistan. So, like you, the curriculum in Pakistan, like the includes the social emotional learning in the physical education activity, kind of like that, bro? Yes, yes, what interesting. Okay, we move to a second question about the curriculum physical education in Pakistan. Mm. Okay, so the physical education should not stand alone. Yeah, it's collaborate with other also aspect in student daily life as well. Okay, may I, do you have any question from the audience? Yep. Maybe we have one more question. Yeah. Okay, hold on, Dr. Sophia. We have one more question before we end up this Q&A session.
Okay, thank you for the time, Dr. Sobia. Let me introduce, my name is Ika Novitaria. I'm from Universitas Negeri Jakarta. Actually, I would like want to know, yeah, because in Indonesia we have a program that called an extracurricular activity, and I would like to know, can you explain about extracurricular activity, especially for physical education or sport in Pakistan, and how the enthusiasm of the students or the and the coach or teacher following that activity, because in Indonesia only some sport that has growth in extracurricular activity like in soccer, volleyball, and basketball only, and badminton, I think. And how about in Pakistan? I would like to know how it's the extracurricular activity is growth in Pakistan. Thank you.
Okay. Yes, yes, you can continue, Doctor. All right, so it's a bit same with Indonesia, mostly like team sport, right, Dr. Sobia? All right, ladies and gentlemen, we comes to ending of this session with Dr. Sofia. But before we end up, we would like to symbolize present the certificate to Dr. Sofia Hasan.
Hello.
May you turn on your camera so we can take a picture with you as well.
Wait it.
Okay. All right, let me conclude this session about the physical education provide a strong foundation for a healthy and active lifestyle, improving physical, mental, and social health. It fosters teamwork, discipline, and resilience, qualities essential for a successful future. By embracing a holistic approach that integrates physical education, sports science, and sustainable health practices, we can unlock the potential of the golden generation of 2024, empowering them to lead healthy and fulfilling lives. All right, ladies and gentlemen, hopefully the presentation will be benefit for everybody. Thank you once again for your attention. I'm Rizky Nurulfa. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Goodbye.
Thank you very much, Dr. Sofia.
Goodbye.
All right. Thank you so much, Dr. Rizky Nurulfa, for moderating this session. All right?
Yes.
But before that, there will be a certificate giving session for the moderator.
Okay, next will be our fourth plenary session with our keynote speaker, Professor Rafael Martinez Gallego, Universidad de Valencia, Español, and invited speaker, Prof. Aija Clavina from Riga Sardin University, Latvia, and moderated by Mr. Oki Yonda MPD. Mr. Oki Yonda is coaching pedal tennis, train, and conditioning more than 10 years. And beside of that, he is a lecturer and researcher in UNJ. And to Mr. Oki, the sign is yours.
Hi, welcome again. with International Seminar Sports Science and Health 2024. Welcome back again, and I have to introduce myself. My name is Okionda, and I'm as a moderator today, and our speaker today is Professor Dr. Rafael Martinez Gallego, PhD from University of Valencia. Please welcome Professor Martinez Gallego.
Hello, everybody.
Hello, Professor, do you hear me? Ah, nice. Perfect. How are you, Professor? Nice, nice, nice. Yeah, we had a time difference, 5 hours from local time. So I would like to first let me introduce your short biography. Dr. Rafael Martinez Gallego is distinguished expert in the field of sport science and holding a PhD and master degree in research in sports science. He currently serves as a professor at the University of Valencia, where he teaches in the sports science degree program, as well as in various master and postgraduate course. Additionally, he is a tutor in racket sport coaching and international tutor for International Tennis Federation. Dr. Martinez Gallego is also the principal researcher of Funder Research Project, with his research primarily focused on racket sport. His expertise has been showcased at numerous international conferences, and his research contributions have been published in several prestigious scientific journals. So please give an applause for Professor Martinez Gallego. Now, without waiting a long time, please, Professor Rafael Martinez Gallego, to present your conference today. Time is yours. Thank you very much.
Indonesian event, so I'm very happy. I'm very happy. So the topic that I'm going to cover in this presentation is, as you can see, is the title is the role of technology in modern sport performance analysis and insights from racket sports. So basically, we are going to speak about performance analysis, and most of the examples are going to be related with racket sports. But as you will see, it's very easy to adapt these technologies that we are gonna comment, or the different topics can be easily adapted to other sports. So please, next slide. So this is the index, and we are gonna start speaking about what is performance analysis and the importance of this type of analysis. And then we are going to see how technology has influenced these systems in order to collect data about the performance of the athletes, and also how technology can help us to analyze this data and also to visualize and create different type of reports, plots, and so on. And then in the second part of the presentation, I'm going to show you different examples that we've done about research in this area, and how we use the different type of technologies for this research. And then finally, I'm going to show you an example in tennis of a data provider. So there are different companies or different organizations that they provide data related with the performance of the players. And of course, nowadays they are using technology in order to provide, let's say, a more in-depth and more complex data. Next slide, please. Okay, so the first thing that I wanted to reflect with you is about the training process. So here we can see in this flow chart how the training process is done. So as you can see, basically, what the coaches do is to observe the performance of the athletes, of the players, and then based on the coach observation, they analyze this performance, and with this analysis and the previous results, the coaches, we plan the next trainings and we prepare the competitions and so on. And then after that, the athletes execute the competition or the training, and the process starts again. So basically, all of this process is based on the coach observation. But we have several studies, or an important number of studies, that show us that coaches can observe only parts of the performance. So it's impossible for a coach to observe everything. The second thing is that there are limitations in the human memory. So sorry, I think there is one slide missing. Can you go to the previous one? No, the previous one. Okay, so maybe this is the previous. It doesn't matter. Go to the yeah. So before that, I was speaking about the training process, and I was saying that all the training process is based on the coach observation. But we know that the observation of the coaches is not, let's say, 100% reliable, because we cannot observe everything, because we have some limitations in our memory. So basically, we cannot remember everything. And also, the emotions and the different bias can influence in our memory. For example, in sport, one typical bias is the confirmation one. So basically, we tend to remember the aspects that we thought that were true. For example, if I'm observing my player, and I think my player has a very good forehand and a very bad backhand, I'm gonna tend to remember the good actions with the forehand and the bad actions with the backhand. So basically, to sum up this, is that we need an objective measure in order to analyze performance. And at this point is when a performance analysis, it's important. Because performance analysis, the goal of this analysis is to improve the performance and to understand the game or the sport by providing objective data. So this is the key aspect, to provide objective data. And by having that, we can complement the coach subjective observation. So basically, when we speak about performance analysis, this analysis is always based on real game situations that can be or competition or training sessions. But all of these analyses are in real game situations. So we cannot consider performance analysis, for example, when we are analyzing questionnaires or when we are doing tests. So basically, all the examples, all the different researches that we are going to see are taking data from real game situations. Next slide, please. So the technology has been key in helping to get more data, more accurate data, analyzing it in a more advanced way, and also improving visualization. So from the past, where the coaches were analyzing, just observing or taking some manual notes, Now with the technology, we have access to a lot of data and let's say more complex and more advanced data that can help us to analyze the performance of the players of the ad list. Next, please. So when analyzing the performance of the player, one crucial concept is the performance indicators. So performance indicators should be the first thing that we need to define when we want to analyze the performance of the athletes. Because a performance indicator is a combination of variables that we can observe that, of course, are related with the performance, but we can measure them in an objective way. So a performance indicator is the one variable or a group of variables related with the performance that can be measured in an objective way. So by doing that, we can get an objective variable data related with this performance. So it's not subjective, it's not based on the opinion of the coach, on the opinion of the athlete. So it's something that is 100% of objective. Next one, please. So here we have several examples of performance indicators. For example, we can analyze the first serve accuracy of the players in tennis, for example, or we have the rally length, the court coverage, so how they cover the court, or we can analyze, for example, the unforced errors. So here the most important thing is, as I said, no, depending on our goal, depending on what we want to analyze, we need to select the appropriate performance indicators, and also to select the best variables or the most appropriate variables in order to analyze this performance indicator. For example, if we want to analyze this first serve accuracy, we could take the number of first serves in as a variable. But probably it could be better to take the percentage of first serves in, because depending on the number of points in the match, the number of first serves in can be different. So if we compare the number of first serves in different matches, the number of points played in this match can influence this variable. So, for example, it could be better to use this percentage. And also, if we are analyzing the accuracy, it's not the same than effectiveness. So if we want to analyze the first serve effectiveness, we should add more variables to analyze these indicators. So apart, for example, of the percentage of first serves in, we should analyze the percentage of points won with the first serve, or the percentage of points won with the first serves in points with 4 or less shots that are going to be influenced by the serve. So basically, here the point is we need to select variables that can be measured in an objective way and to select the most appropriate ones in order to analyze the aspect that we want to analyze. Next one, please. And here we have, in a very simple way, what is the process that we need to follow to analyze the performance of the players. So all of these previous aspects are related with this first step, that is the data collection. So in order to collect data, the first thing that we said is that we have to do is to define the performance indicators that are interest for us to analyze. And then after that, we need to create a data collection system. To create it or to use the different data collection systems that are available, or different technologies that allow us to collect data by observing the match or by taking the data. After getting the data, we need to analyze it, and we will see the technology that we use to analyze this data. And then finally, we need to use different tools to create reports or to create data visualization. So basically how to visualize and how to show the data for the coaches, for the players, for the athletes. Okay, next one, please. So we are going to start speaking about the different data collection systems that we can use, and here we have those are considered the first data collection systems. On the left side, we can see what is considered the first data collection system that was used for dance. The name is Laban notation and was created by Rudolf Laban. And basically, this guy created different symbols to represent different movements in dance. And it's very important because, as we said, is the first data collection system. And then on the right side, this is the first racket sport data collection system that was created for squash. And as you can see, here we have different representations of the court. So the analyst had to write in each court what was happening in this different stroke, the different strokes in the match. So the problem with this type of system is, as you can imagine, it was like very difficult and time consuming to write like every shot in the different courts and then to analyze this data. So that's why the technology has played, next slide please, has played a key role in this data collection system. Because of course, nowadays we have technologies that helps us to collect this data. And we are going to divide these data collection systems in different groups. Okay, the first group are the tagging systems. So the tagging systems we have different systems, different software, but most of them are very similar. So basically, they allow us to create like different structures or different categories with tags. And when we are observing the match or the performance of the player, or we upload the video to the software, we can create our categories with different tags. And when observing the video, we can click the different events that we want to analyze. And then the program synchronize these events that we introduce with the video, or the time where we click the different events. And then by doing that, we can select different actions, and we can filter them, and also we can create short clips by filtering the action that are interesting for us. And here we have a couple of examples. On the left side, this program is called Focus. On the right side, we have another one that is called Lince. This Lince is quite interesting because it's for free, and also it's widely used in research. So it's something that can be very, very helpful if you are interested on that. Other companies that are developing this type of systems are Longomatch, or we have Sports Code, and as we said, most of them are very similar, and they work in a very similar way. Next one, please. A previous one. Previous. Before this one, please. This one, thank you very much. So the next group of data collection systems are called tracking systems. So what is the difference between these systems and the tagging systems? So the difference is that these systems allow us to track the movement of the players, of the athletes, and also sometimes, depending on the system, they track also the movement, in this case in racket sports, the movement of the ball. So this is the advantage, because we have, for every moment, we have the position of the player. And by having that, then we can analyze the position of the players on the court. We can analyze the speed, accelerations, change of directions, distance covered, and many things. And also, most of them allow us also to collect the strokes, the different actions. So here, probably the most important examples in cycling in tennis is hockey, that probably you have seen it when during tennis matches, and usually the hockey is used like an assistant referee. But apart from that, this system is collecting a lot of data. So basically, for each stroke, we can have around 50 variables. So we can have the position of the player when hitting the ball, what is the speed of the ball before hitting, the speed of the ball after hitting, the height of the ball when crosses the net, the spin of the ball. So many performance indicators and variables. What is the disadvantage of this type of systems? That they need a lot of preparation and a complex system. And usually we don't have the courts with this type of systems, only the pro tournaments or the most important tournaments. But also technology is helping us on that, because on the right side, you have another software that is called Swim Vision. And the advantage of that is that you can use your mobile phone, and basically you need to place your mobile phone on the back fence, in this case for tennis, and just recording the match, then you can get a lot of information. As you can see on the screen, for example, where the ball is bouncing, the type of shot that the player is doing, if the shot is a top spin, slice, flat, what is the speed of the ball, and then it generates in automatic way different graphs and statistics. So as technology is advancing, we are getting this type of technologies of software that are more are available and can be used by, let's say, everybody, not only the top players. So next one, please. So another type of tracking systems are these EPTS, that are electronic performance and tracking systems. And for example, we use this WIMU, but another companies are, for example, Catapult, that very popular. And basically, this type of devices integrates multiple sensors, including accelerometers, gyroscopes, magnetometers, and GPS. And they allow us to track and record a wide range of biomechanical and physiological data in real time. So basically, we are using also these devices when the players are playing the matches. We equip the athletes with this type of devices, and then we can get a lot of data. Okay, so this is basically related with the data collection. So how we use the technology in order to collect data. And the next step, so next slide, please, is how to use the technology to analyze this data and to visualize this data. So next slide, please. So in order to analyze this, basically we are using these programming languages that are R and Python, and we use mainly the first one, R, but both of them are very convenient. And those programming languages are designed specifically for statistical computing and data analysis. And by using, we need to code, we need to type code and create scripts depending on the analysis that we want to do. And also there are a lot of packages that are available, so that they are already created, that we can use for different purposes. And by having these packages and coding data, we can handle large volumes of data. This is one of the advantages when we are doing big data analysis. Sometimes we need to manage 1,000 of registers. So it's impossible to do that, for example, with an Excel file or this type of programs. So we need to use this type of technology. Also, we can perform different statistical tests, and also different machine learning algorithms and using artificial intelligence. And they are also very convenient for data visualization. There are a lot of packages created in order to visualize the data. So then I will show you some examples. So by using R to visualize and to create some plots or graphs for the data that we want to analyze. So basically, those are the technologies that we use to analyze the data. Okay, next slide, please. And now we are gonna see different examples of research that we have done, and basically I'm gonna explain you the main conclusion, but maybe the most important thing is the technology that we used in order to do the research and the performance indicators analyzed in each one. So the first one, you have here the title of the research, that was movement characteristics of elite tennis player on hard courts with respect to the direction of ground strokes. And for this research, we use a tracking system that is called SAGIT. And this system that was created in the University of Ljubljana in Slovenia, we place two cameras on the ceiling of the court. Then with these recordings, this program allow us to track the players' movements during the matches. And with this program, we analyze the distance covered by the players, the movement speed, the time that they spend in different areas of the court when attacking and defending, and also the shot frequency when they were playing cross court, down the line, etc. So next one, please. And thank you. And the key findings of this research was that we found that game winners cover more distance in offensive zones. They spend less time in defensive zones. So it indicates that basically the winners of the matches or the points, they use a more aggressive strategies. And just the opposite, the game losers, they move faster and spend more time in defensive zones. So it suggests that they were forced into a more defensive role. And then we didn't find significant differences depending on the shot directions. So next one. So in next study, next research, this one was about paddle tennis, and the title was exploring offensive players' collective movements and positioning dynamics in high-performance paddle matches using tracking technology. So basically here, for paddle, we use the same tracking system, again, by using two cameras and then tracking the player movements during the matches. And here, our goal was to analyze what was the position of the players when attacking, depending on where the ball was when the opponents were defending. So next slide, please. So basically, as you can see in this image, we use the also R for data analysis and to create this heat map that was very intuitive. So basically we were comparing when the ball was in the zone 1, so it means when the opponents were hitting the ball in the zone 1, what was the position of the players at the net. So as you can see, the with positioning, the offensive players were moving, for example, on the area 1 to the right side, but basically they were following the direction of the ball. And also the player what was closer to the ball was also closer to the net, and the partner was moving slightly back. So on the area 3, it was exactly the same, but in the opposite direction. So basically, this was something that we expect, but in this study, we demonstrate that this is really true. So that the players are using this type of, or they are covering the court in this way. But in terms of technology, we could track the position of the player and also to use this R to create this heat map. Next one, please. So in this research, this was the first one that we used the Hawkeye system. So here we got the data from the ITF, and we got data from doubles tennis matches from the Davis Cup and Billie Jean King Cup. So here with the Hawkeye, apart from the position of the player, we got data also about the ball. So Hawkeye system is also tracking the ball. So then we can analyze more things. And basically here, our goal was to analyze the serve direction and serve effectiveness and compare these indicators between male and females. So Davis Cup and Billie Jean King Cup. So next slide, please. And basically, we found that with the first serve, both male and female, they tended to serve to the T area. The T area is the area that is closer to the middle of the court. And the reasons of that is, as you know, in doubles, the partner usually when serving is at the net. So basically, serving the first serve to the T allows the player on the net to poach and to cover the middle of the court and finish a lot of points there. And then related with the second serve, we found that most of the serves were directed to the body zone. And the reason of that is that the players try to reduce the angles, because with the second serve, the returners can attack. So by serving to the body, they reduce the angles, and they don't allow the opponents to open the court to create more angles. And then in terms of gender differences, we found that obviously the male were more effective overall in their serves as compared with females, probably because of the speed of the serve and the power that they have. Next one, please. Then this study that is titled A Cluster Analysis Approach to Profile Men and Women's Volley Position in Professional Tennis Matches. I was very happy with this study because this is the first study analyzing tactics at the net. It wasn't any research related with this topic. So we use again data from Hawkeye, and we analyze close to 25,000 volleys in professional double matches. And then we use R to do a cluster analysis. A cluster analysis basically is an analysis that depending on the characteristics, in this case of the volley position, the analysis group the different volleys depending on their characteristics. So basically, it allows us to create or to find different type of volleys depending on the position where the players were hitting the ball. So for the position, we introduce in the program the distance to the net, the distance to the center of the court, and also the height of impact. And the findings, next one, please. We found 7 clusters for men, as you can see here. The most frequent ones were volleys close to the middle and at the medium height that are, so you can see here in this image that these green and red dots, each dot is a volley. So again, by using R, we create this type of images, and R allow us to put the different volleys in the right position on the court. So it's very visual and it's very easy to understand. For example, that men are playing the most frequent ones are close to the middle in a medium or low height, and the second ones are also in the middle but higher. Okay? And then we have other groups of volleys. So we found for men a total of 7. And the next one, please. And for women, the difference is that we found only 4 types. And in women, the most frequent ones are on the sides of the course of the court. That is something that is very important, and the practical applications are very important. So now that the coaches, when they want to prepare the players to play doubles tennis, by having this data, they can work on the different type of volleys, and they can work on a specific way with men and women. Okay, next one, please. And then here we have another example of paddle, and the paper was titled Movement Patterns and Player Load, Insight from Professional Paddle. And this is an example in which we use this Wimu Pro device, that is these devices that are placed in the atlas, in the player, and we monitor the different movements and the external load in professional paddle players in outdoor matches. And we use R in order to visualize the data and to create different graphs to compare the different variables based on the result of the match. So basically here, our goal was to compare these performance indicators that are the distance covered, the speed of the players, acceleration and deceleration, the player load, the explosive distance, that is the distance covered at high speed. So we compare these indicators based on the winners and the losers of the match. So next one, please. So here you can see the plots that we create, the graphs that we create with R. These type of graphs are very convenient for research, because in one image you have, for example, here we have these violin plots, but also on the bulb you have all the statistics related with the analysis. So here we were comparing the number of acceleration per hour with the winners and the losers of the matches. Here we can see how in blue we have the winners, and in red we have the losers of the matches, and we can see how the winners were doing more accelerations than the losers. And then in the rest of the graphs, we have acceleration between 1 to 2 meters, from 2 to 3 meters, and more than 3 meters. And also here we can observe, if we observe the number of accelerations, that close to 80% of accelerations in paddle are between 1 to 2 meters accelerations. So next one, please. The findings is winners cover more distance than the losers in paddle, and they perform more accelerations per hour. And this is different, for example, from tennis. If you remember the first study, the first research that I showed you, in tennis, we found that the winners of matches in hard courts, they cover less distance than the losers. So here in paddle is different. Okay, and about accelerations, as we said, approximately 80% of accelerations are within 2 meters. And this finding suggests that in paddle, the players that they have superior mobility, so they are more active, they have more chances to win the matches. And also, this information can be very, very important for coaches and fitness coaches in order to work in a specific way. Next one, please. And this is the last one. In this research, we analyze the effectiveness of the serve also in doubles tennis. And here our goal was to create a model by using neural networks and artificial intelligence. Our goal was to introduce all of these variables that you have there related with the serve, and to compare or to analyze the serves that were effective, were aces or not, and to analyze what were the most important variables and the values that these variables should have in order to be effective with the serve. In order to do that, we analyzed more than 14,000 serves from 97 men's doubles Davis Cup matches. And next slide, please. So we found that the angle and placement of the ball were the most important variables. So when the angle of the serve was between 5.7 and 8.7 degrees, and the ball was landing from on the line or 28 centimeters from the sidelines, the chances of getting an ace increased in a 50%. And also something that is important is that about the speed, serving in this 187 kilometers per hour or more only increase the probability of an ace by 10%. So it means that in doubles tennis, we found that angle and placement are much more important than speed in order to be effective with the serve. So again, this it has a very practical implications. So in order to prepare our players to play doubles, it's very important to work on these aspects, sometimes more than the working only on the speed of the serve. And then just to finish, next one, please. I wanted to show you an example of data provider. This ATP Tennessee IQ is a platform created from the Association of Tennis Professionals, created for pro players, and it's a data-driven platform that basically it gives us 3 different things. So basically, we have different performance indicators and data, but we can observe this data, we can analyze this data in real time. So when the players are playing, we can go to this platform and to analyze the data and to set different parameters. Also, we can scout different players. So each player has his own profile there. So we can analyze the different indicators from different players. And also we have like a face-to-face comparison, and we can compare the players. And this platform is, next one, please, is very convenient because they are providing, let's say, a very new indicators. And I show you here some of them. For example, we can observe this in attack indicator, that the technology or they take the data from Hawkeye, and they use artificial intelligence to create these performance indicators. So this in attack, the technology analyze the points, and it identifies when the player is in attack, is in a neutral situation, or is defending. And in order to define that, they use the quality of the incoming ball, what is the location of the player on the court, what is how is the contact point of the player, what is the opponent's recovery position. And for example, we can see that the average in men's tour in attack is 23%. So 23% of the time, the players are in attacking position. So as we can see here, this is an example of Alcaraz. It has 24. So we can compare different players about that. Next one, please.
Professor,
Then another
sorry,
interesting one.
it's 5 minutes. Can you
Excellent.
make it faster a little bit?
Excellent. 5 minutes to finish the presentation, or also the questions?
Yeah, yeah, 5 minutes more for the
Excellent.
presentation.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Oki. So also another performance indicator that is very interesting is this conversion score. So it calculates how often a player has won a point when attacking. So when the players are attacking, what is the percentage of time that they win the point? So it shows how efficient is a player when attacking. So the average, for example, in the tour is 66%. So this highlights the benefit of having a higher in attack score. And then we have the steal score. That is very similar, that it calculates how often a player win the point when defending. So the average is 34%. So all of these indicators only can be calculated when having this data from Hawkeye, and also by doing advanced analysis of this data. Next one. So they are also calculating the quality of the different shots. So they measure for the serve, return, forehand, and backhand from 0 to 10. What is the quality of the shot? So in order to calculate that, they use the speed of the ball, the spin, the depth of the ball, the width, and also they take into account the incoming ball. So for example, and here you can see the average of the different shots quality. The serve is 7.7, returns 6.6. So for example, you can compare these averages with Alcaraz averages. And as you can see, Alcaraz has higher performance for every shot. Then apart from that, next one, please. They calculate a performance rating. So considering the in-attack, conversion, steal, and the shot quality data, they create a metric. So during the match and after the match, you can observe what is the performance rating of each player. And again, here we can see that the average in the tour is 7.44, and obviously Alcaraz, that is now number 3 or 2 in the world, is 8.54. Then apart from that, next one, please. It gives you, this platform gives you what are the winning and losing plays. So basically, what are the, next one, please. What are the patterns of play which are more convenient for the player? Or what are the patterns that the player is losing points or is allowing the opponent to take the initiative of the point? So this one is very, very interesting, because you can see what are the situation or what are the patterns that the player should use or should avoid during the match. Next one, please. And then apart from that, we can have more performance indicators related with the serve direction, return contact point, return placement, serve plus one. And for each of these, we can have what is the quality of each stroke, what are for example, the unreturned serves, only the first serve, only the second serve. So the amount of data is huge. Okay, so this is just an example of a data provider. And as we said, as I said at the beginning, depending on the sport that you are involved, you should find this type of data providers in order to find what can be more convenient for you to analyze or to provide data to the coaches or the players. Next one, please. So just to conclude, technology nowadays plays a crucial role in the analysis of athletes. So we need to be familiar with this type of tools to maximize their potential. So it doesn't matter what is your sport or your role in your sport. You need to be familiar with the technology because, as we said during this presentation, by using technology, we can get more objective and reliable information. Most of the time, we cannot observe everything. So by having this data, we can have deeper insights into the performance of the player. And by having that, our plans can be more individualized and based on objective data. And finally, it enables us to, in real time, we can monitor and give feedback, and especially more objective feedback to the athletes. And for sure, this is gonna improve the tactics, or in general, the performance of the athletes. Next one. So yeah, many thanks. It was great to be here presenting, and now I'm open to answer your questions. Thank you very much.
So, any question for Professor Rafael Martinez Gallego? Do you see? Oh. Oh. Okay, Professor Martinez Gallego, I'm sorry for, because we had another session for presenter, so you have to wait first until Professor Ayla giving a presentation.
Okay, no problem.
Yeah, sorry, Professor Aya Clavina first. Hello, Professor. Good morning, Professor Aya Clavina. How are you? Okay. Okay. Yes, thank you, Professor. I call Professor Aya Clavina, is that right? Okay, so I have to introduce you first. Professor Aya Clavina is born in Riga, Latvia, and then she is one of a leading researcher in Latvian Councils of Science, right? And based on healthcare academic master study program, healthcare professional in sport, and then the professional activity is chief of the board physiotherapist and chief of researcher in responsible for research, staff management, and research development at the RTTEMR. And the last one, head of the study direction healthcare in RESA. Okay, without a long time, Please giving us applause for Professor Aya Clavina.
Thank you. Thank you for a very nice introduction. And yeah, my background is in physiotherapy and also in sports science. I've been working as a physiotherapist for more than 20 years with children with different disabilities, early intervention, basically children from preschool age up to elementary school age. But parallel, I also was working in my free time as a president of one of sport federations for children and youth with disability in Latvia. And I'm very proud that some of children from this federation became Paralympic athletes. Yesterday, I was also on the national television before opening ceremony of International Paralympic Games. And I was very proud to present some of my athletes who are already not children, obviously. They are adults and they are Paralympic athletes. So through my professional career, I was witnessing how much physical activity and sport affecting not just health parameters, but also well-being, cognitive skills, lifestyle behaviors. And this is which is like a driving me through my career and helping people with different functional limitations to find the best approach in their lifestyle physical activities. So that's why my presentation will include concepts of disability, how we perceive disability, concepts of physical activity, particularly inclusive physical activity, and contributive factors which are affiliated with participation in daily physical activity. A little bit of geographics. So I'm more than 10,000 kilometers away, and I'm working in two countries which are very close to each other, actually in Latvia, and also you can see below Latvia a small country named Lithuania. And those two countries are like maybe 3 hours drive from each other, and my current workplace in Riga is Riga Stradink University. This summer, Latvian Academy of Sport Education was consolidated with a big university, which is one of best universities in Europe in medical science. But now they also will have sports science programs in the university. And very happy for this process because it gives us as researchers much better access to colleagues from healthcare science. And as you understand, nowadays research can be done only in multidisciplinary teams of professionals when we are working together from different areas. And my other place where I'm working is Lithuanian Sport University in Kaunas, which is, like I mentioned, about 3 hours drive by car. And I'm teaching master students there and also leading research projects with colleagues from Lithuania. And both universities have multiple international study programs in master program, in PhD program. And yeah, greetings to my student, Riski Nursulfa. And I'm really looking forward to see you back in Riga and continue working with you, and we are open to other international students in both countries, in Lithuania and also in Latvia. Okay, yeah, if we look at the terminology and the legal documents which are defining physical activity, so we know that physical activity, it's a human right, and everybody should have access to physical activity. It doesn't matter like color, religion, type of health condition. So physical activity should be accessible to everyone. But if we look at the evidence, and we all know that World Health Organization have guidelines or recommendations how much physical activity, for example, children should do per day. And evidence for many years, for decades already, is not changing. It's actually presenting opposite directions, that more and more children with disability are being sedentary, especially children with intellectual disability, children with physical limitations. And as you can see, this is just one side of the picture, because other side of the picture is related to increase of risks of various health conditions like obesity, cognitive issues, physical issues, which might be related to metabolic disease or physical functions, cardiovascular functions. Like looking at evidence from Indonesia, I didn't find much about sport participation for children with disability, but numbers of children with disability in schools and statistics are more or less the same as you can find in other countries. In the bold, we talk about 15% people with disability, but of course it depends of country national legislation when we define that person has disability, because this is more, for me, disability is a social term, because someone with a limb amputation might not perceive him or herself with a disability, because they can continue productive lifestyle, working or doing other things in their life. So for children, of course, it's very important to connect a bit of functional limitations and possibilities for school education, out of school activities. And especially it's important because of education in the future, how many of them are able to study at university level and get a profession and get a job and to be productive in the future in their life and be independent in their life. So that's why models of disability are kind of very important to understand what model do we use in which situation, and what model do we use, for example, in inclusive education system. In my country, now it's finally changing to more social model, but for many years we had medical model where special schools were connected with a medical background of children being in that school. Like, for example, schools for children with intellectual disability, schools for children with physical disability, or schools for children with visual impairment. Of course, it's easy for a government and that's also for teachers, because they know that there are only students with particular disability in schools. But what about students themselves? Because they don't have connection and collaboration with students with other but without disability or other disabilities. So basically they go every day to school and they see the same children with the same type of disability what they have themselves. And this is not what we want to see in the future in our society, because at some point they are going to university, or they are getting independent from their parents, and they have to survive in a heterogeneous society. And the same for children without disabilities. They should have access, they should have connection with different children, and to be familiar with children with physical limitations or visual limitations during a childhood, because that's when their perceptions are developing. And as soon as children are seeing other children with different whatever, like appearance, that helps in the future to be natural, to spontaneously collaborate and interact with. Doesn't matter what type of disabilities these people have. So this is like recently we with colleagues in Europe were discussing whether we should use actually term disability or disability, because everybody has different abilities. Even people without disability have different abilities. So just like thinking in the future about your research and what type of terminology to use in a research. So about inclusion, that's kind of a term which has been discussed a lot, and some are very skeptical about full inclusion, and many of my research colleagues doesn't believe that full inclusion is actually realistic. And of course, it depends of situation and environment where what we are talking about. But inclusion, of course, it's a process. It's not something which we can make happen in one day. Inclusion in schools should be connected with inclusion in society, attitudes in a society in general, because if you have parents for a child without disability, which tries to not to face situations where their children are meeting children with disability, and that happens a lot, actually, then you cannot expect that their child will be open to children with disability. So this is where we should promote and to motivate schools to implement inclusive approach, and not just in one subject or sport, physical education, but in a school culture. This should be like a frame or logo of schools that we are for inclusive education. And I will present some of examples from my research how we promoted inclusive education, not just in a research site like physical education, but how this research, what we implemented in physical education, also helped inclusive process to be promoted in other school environments, like in other school subjects. So there is a great researcher, Robert Malina, which proposed 10 questions how physical activity can promote growth, maturation of children and adolescents, and especially maturation, not just physical maturation, but also psychological, emotional, and social maturation, which is also very important, like I mentioned before, to meet with children with different abilities. So there is these four concepts which are important, like attendance, like how much children have access and attending, for example, physical education, and also performance and motor skills, fitness tasks, also subjective perception and engagement, which is not really possible to objectively measure, because this is how we feel when we do something. Do we feel belonging to this place? Do we feel that people around us welcoming us to participate together? For example, choosing us to be a team member, and how much actually the participant can be actively involved in all this process. So I will present some examples from my research how we measured these variables. And childhood physical activity, most easiest way to measure is a biomedical model. And that's what we see in many research papers that, for example, body mass index, physical skills, energy expenditure, and this is how objectively us as a researchers, we can measure those parameters. But what about psychosocial model, which is now most used in rehabilitation in ICF, and this should be person-centered model, which also measures and respects person-environment interactions, also participation, exploration, and engagement. So, and very important aspect is social interactions, because active environment, physical education, sport activity provides opportunity to interact with others, which is not possible in school environment, in a classroom. And that's why physical education actually in schools is very unique and a very, I would say, special environment where children have chance to promote their social interactions and to promote their collaboration and teamwork skills, and also overall development, which is not just how much and how far or how fast children can perform in physical education, particular physical skills, but also how these new skills affect overall development, growth, maturation of these children. For many years, I've been working in an area what we call collaborative learning, and I did my PhD at the University of Virginia, and my topic was about the inclusion of children with severe and multiple disabilities in physical education by using an approach called peer tutoring. So what is peer tutoring? Peer tutoring is part of cooperative learning, where students are working together. This might be two students, this might be group of students, and basically more skilled students are helping less skilled students. And this is a very useful and actually cost-effective approach for physical education teacher, because mostly you can see that the children with disability in physical education are assisted by adult. It might be special education teacher, or might be assistant teacher, or sometimes in Latvia even we have like technical staff in school helping students to transfer between classrooms, or helping them to change in a changing room to prepare for physical education. And especially for younger children, like elementary school age children, and later also for adolescents, it might be disturbing that you have adult with you all the time. And also for students without disability, it's like a psychological barrier, because there is always adult there, and students have resistance to interact and to come close to the student with disability, because there is always adult. And this is why natural, spontaneous interactions are not happening because of adult. And so we did research, not just one, but also multiple research studies replacing adult assistant teacher or special ed teacher with students. Of course, it takes some time for training, but it's very useful and not as difficult as it might see from beginning, when you think like how children without disability can help students with severe and multiple disabilities. So there are some research studies we have published with my colleagues from United States, from Latvia, from Sweden, and I will show some examples from these studies. So first, what is cooperative learning model? Ulf Jansson, which is a Swedish researcher, he was observing preschool children, their behaviors and interactions between children with and without disability. So again, like I mentioned before, objective participation, which is in a blue color, this is what we as a researchers measuring, and it's easy to observe, like how many times children did something during a class, or maybe what was whether there's accessibility to gym or accessibility to other environmental places, but which is more challenging to observe and more challenging to assess is subjective participation. But subjective participation is most important, because if you do sports, if you want to play tennis, you probably will find a place where you feel good, where you feel welcomed, where your coach is positive towards you, where your peer or tennis partner is friendly to you. And this is the same with the children in cooperative learning, because they want to be they want to be accepted, recognized, they want to be respected and welcomed in this environment. So to understand those variables, of course, for us it was a little bit challenge, but we found some solutions, and I will present in a few slides what we did to measure subjective participation variables. So this is one of models I developed through my PhD research. Basically, what variables are important in order to implement collaborative learning approach. So you see that in physical education, as I mentioned before, it's a unique environment in whole school program, because there are so many catalyzers, like symbolic context. For example, passing a ball, because you want to pass a ball in a, for example, in a basketball game, to person whom you can trust that he or she will know what to do with the ball and will play, and your team will not lose. And other symbolic contexts, like coming to other student during class and talking to students, interacting with others. And that might be positive and might be also negative context, where somebody is failing or there are some negative interactions going on. So basically, symbolic context, by using different equipment we are choosing for the physical education. Also social context, like I mentioned before, and physical context, interacting and doing activities together. This is very important, and all of this makes this inclusive environment. And then we have peers, students, we have students with disability, and in my research, we also have trained peer tutors. Of course, there is some training needed before implementing collaborative learning approach, but very important context is also environment in school. In my experience, I've been in many schools and trying to implement this collaborative learning approach, and attitude of teachers have been very diverse, from teachers which are very supportive and they say, yes, we want to implement, we want to promote inclusive education, and we are happy that you can teach us how to do this, till teachers which are ignoring totally what you want to do, and they just perceive you as a researcher, as an outsider. You come to my class, you do whatever you need to do, and you leave. So for this, to implement a successfully collaborative learning model, you need really to have first, as a researcher, collaboration with a school, with school administration, with teachers. So they want to learn from you, because this is what will contribute and improve quality of education in the future, not just in physical education, but also in other subjects in the school. And in research, what we implemented, we focused on these three variables: physical behaviors. So basically, how many physical activities are students engaging with each other, like how much they are doing together. Instructional behaviors, this is about how students providing instructions to each other, like if you have peer tutors, how peer tutors are providing verbal, non-verbal instructions like prompts, cues. Basically, that would be the same what normally teachers are doing, providing instructions. And social behaviors, because this is very, very important, like how and what students are interacting about during physical education. Because as I mentioned, they might talk about different things which are age appropriate, like about the movie last night or yesterday there was an opening ceremony of Paralympic Games, and they exchanging those experiences with each other in this free, active environment of physical education. So I will present a few videos from my research. I hope you have a sound on. Actually, yeah, I will, you'll let me know, but if there is no sound, but if there is no sound, it doesn't matter, because in these short videos, you would see adults assisting child with severe and multiple disabilities. And very short couple of seconds, you can try to find interactions between this boy and other children in the class. And this boy came to physical education with an individual education goal to increase interactions with age-appropriate peers, to be together with other classmates. And this was like main goal for him to participate in physical education. Okay. And the next video below, I don't know if there is a sound, but as I said, it doesn't matter really. So you see that this boy was, again, in a red jacket. He was assigned to the group of other boys, and they had to go to one station to do activity. And what happened when teacher said, no, you can go to your stations? So basically, in these two short videos, you could see, probably you didn't find any interaction between this boy in a red jacket or sweater with other children. And this happened all the time. I had videos, I had my research there for 3 months. And during first 3 weeks, I was observing every physical education class. And in that school, physical education was every day. In the United States, there are schools which are providing everyday physical education for 30 minutes. And like that was complete nonsense, and not any moment where I would see the individual education plan for this boy would be going towards successful outcome, that he would increase or he would have a chance to collaborate and to interact with other children in a class. As you could see in the video below, that boys left and they even didn't notice that there is one more person in their team and they should be responsible for that person. So what I did a small training with a few volunteers in the class. I asked children, they were about 8-year-old. I asked them who wants to be peer tutor. Of course, 90% of children in the class wanted to be a peer tutors. They didn't know what does it mean, but then I explained that peer tutor is actually like a helping teacher, and they will be collaborating with students who need help. So we selected 6 peer tutors in this class, and you will see what happened afterwards. So I cannot show like whole video, but just a small little seconds from outcomes of my research. So yeah, in this video you could see that there are two boys and they are helping a student with disability to transfer around the gym, and there are a lot of laughing, a lot of positive emotions you could hear. You wouldn't hear those emotions and positive outcomes from these children before, when that boy was assisted by two adults or by one adult. And here's also another situation where they had to go to another station, like similarly on the left side, but on the right side you will see a totally different picture. So yeah, basically you could notice that the students actually were aware that there is one more classmate, and there were a group of students which were around that boy after we were doing training of classmates how to help and how to interact with students with severe and multiple disabilities. And in activity engagement, during teacher instructed time in the beginning before training other students in the class how to provide support and help. Students with disability were engaging in physical activity about 61%, which is not bad, but still there is room left to be more intensively engaged in physical activities. While after peer tutoring, after we implemented intervention, 80%, even sometimes 90% of student time in physical activity was active time. So of course there is a lot of methodology behind. I don't have time to explain here, but students without disability were helping students with disability for certain time of the physical education. For example, 3 minutes, 5 minutes. But what happened actually for me, the most important was to observe how other students who were not selected to be peer tutors will perceive this small group interaction between students with disability and peer tutors. And there was a really good social change in students in a class, because students came to me, to PE teacher, and asked, can I help my classmate next class? Can I be a PE tutor for that boy in physical education? So basically we could see this snowball effect, that small group interactions between trained peer tutors and students with disability change attitudes and perceptions of having students with disability in a bigger group, in a larger classroom arrangement. So I will not have time to show more video, but yeah, this is one of my favorite topics in sports science regarding inclusive physical education. So now I will move a little bit further, because if there is a positive environment, if they are all like puzzle pieces together for a participant to be active in physical education or sport activity, of course, as a researchers or physical education teachers, we can plan what do we want to promote, what do we want to develop for this participant or all participants together. And physical potential, which includes capacity, performance, and involvement, as I mentioned before, like engagement in physical education. Those three concepts are important to keep in mind when making, for example, sport programs or developing some new activities for physical activity, sport activity. And capacity basically includes fundamental motor skills, physical skills, cognitive skills, which are important for the maturation, for development of children. Also performance, like how frequently, what is the duration of active time, because sometimes in physical education students have a lot of passive time, like they are standing in line or they don't want to participate. So again, we want to see that most of time in physical activity is active. Also intensity, like again, according World Health Organizations, students and children have to involve in a high and rigorous intensity physical activity, at least 60 minutes per day. So we want to see some part of this 60 minutes happening in physical education or in sport activity we are providing. And basically why it's important, because in future functional potential is linked with functional independence. So again, as a beginning, I mentioned that students with disability, what happens after school when they go to college or to university, we want them to be as much as independent as possible. And physical potential is very important part of this process. So again, in Latvia, a few years ago, we did a study where we were exploring students with different disabilities, and we were using ability-based concept where we were looking at two groups, a group of students with different disabilities which were age appropriate in development, and group of students which were inappropriate, age not appropriate development. And here you can see some of fundamental motor skill outcomes. Appropriate development, there were 41 students, and also in another group of inappropriate development, which were performing in a test of gross motor development. Maybe some of you have heard this test of 16 physical skills. Actually, I think there are like 4 motor skills, object control skills, and 4 locomotor skills. But you do these activities twice. Like every activity, every skill has to be performed twice in order to measure the final score. And it's a really widely used instrument in a research of fundamental motor skills. And here you can see that there is difference between those which are in appropriate development and inappropriate development. And this helps actually a lot, because we can see in locomotor skills which skills are more behind age appropriate level, like locomotor skills, or these are object control skills which are below. So again, not looking at a disability-based approach, but looking at a functional-based approach, like model, helps us as a physical education teachers or sport coaches to better understand which skills are important to improve and what should I focus on in my sport programs. So why fundamental motor skills matter and why it's so important? Because fundamental motor skills are linked with psychological development, cognitive, and executive functions. And executive functions are like it's important to make decisions, to plan next steps in your action, for example. And it's not just connected with a physical development, but it's also very closely linked with cognitive and emotional and psychological development. So what information works for children and adolescents? So we cannot really talk to children like to adults. It's obvious, and because they will try to use easy way. So, and we cannot persuade them to participate in physical activity, telling them that, oh, if you don't do physical activity now, you will have stroke or you will have a cardiovascular disease in 10 or 15 years because they don't have this experience. They don't see in like 10, 15 years ahead. It's a long time for them. So again, we have to find another way how to interact and social incentives actually between us interacting children to each other and showing good examples to each other. Like in a previous example, when trained peer tutors were there, so other children also were willing to be part of this small group interaction, and they were initiating like activities which would provide them opportunity to be peer tutors to help a student with disability. So they need to learn from each other, not from us as adults, but they need to see those good examples from age-appropriate groups. So here, another study which we implemented some years ago, and that was partially linked with the COVID when there was a lot of online time and children were using a lot of technologies and not just for learning purposes, but also in social interactions because they need to interact with each other, but they could not meet physically. So, and yes, we were a little bit concerned about this problematic internet use. And this is a new term, and it's not still defined from health professionals. We know internet gaming disorder, which is part of international classification of disease, which is named gaming disorder, but problematic internet use is still in the process of defining what would be most appropriate term to because this is a health issue. If someone uses internet or social media in addictive way in exaggerated time periods, so that causes a lot of health issues. So for example, in this slide, you can see that problematic internet use is linked with sedentary lifestyle, sleep problems, academic performance, psychosocial health problems. But what is important that actually that's a cause for anxiety and depression, because especially for children with disability on the internet, in social media, they can be whatever they want to be. They could be their role models. They could use avatars and be a superpower and super people. But in reality, of course, that's where we have to live. And anxiety, depression is causing, it's like similar to smoking. In 10, 15 years, anxiety, depression can cause cardiovascular problems. And this is from some research studies defined before that about 30% of anxiety, depression can cause cardiovascular risks. So this is why we have to see today children, what are their lifestyle behaviors and how we can avoid them to face those serious health issues in the future. So in our research, I will just jump over some slides because I see time running. We were using, we did it on national level in Latvia. We measured problematic internet use risks for children with and without physical, without disability. And we were using, which is actually only scale we found in pediatrics, the scale, which includes 18 questions about children's using internet, social media, and how do they feel when they are taken away, or do they feel sad? Do they feel angry? When they use social media, do they have some pressure or anxiety? So yeah, those and there is a threshold of 25 points. If children score over 25 points, then there is a risk of problematic internet use. Also, we used traditional health lifestyle behavior assessment from a school survey for the school-age children on lifestyle behaviors, where we were asking children to respond on subjective health complaints, whether they have some stomach pain or head pain, or do they feel some anxiety, nervousness during the week, like past 7 days, also physical activity, how much physical activities they performed in last 7 days. Also screen time, did they had more screen times than 3 hours, which is a threshold defined by World Health Organization. Also eating habits, like how much do they eat fruits, vegetables, or fast food, and also how much do they sleep. And also we implemented and used Bruin-Kozaretsky test of motor capacity, where we were particularly focusing on motor control, movement skills, balance, and strength. So basically, we were looking from different angles at our participants. And we had a few studies published about this project outcomes. So most important, just to pay attention to some most important outcomes we found in a first study where we were screening students without disability. So there were 615 students in a study, but 570 were like included in the final result analysis. And as you could see, also we had some age groups defined, like adolescents, children, and then late adolescents, like 15, 16 years old, because that's a very big changes which are happening during this time period from 11 years up to 19 years old. And this teenage age time period is really full of lot of multiple changes in the body, perceptions, psychological, emotional. So that's why we were really looking at a very small, very small age group range. And as you can see, like dark blue are boys and light blue are girls. Like previous, this problematic internet use scores for boys were more visible for young boys, 11, 12-year-old. And this was also linked with their responses that they are using different online games. While for girls, significantly more problematic internet use risks were defined for 16, 15, 16-year-old girls, where those girls actually were responding that they are using a lot of internet for social media, like Instagram, Snapchat, and so on. So that's kind of like trigger that there are different reasons why those like two age groups were using internet, but yeah, these two groups were where we should really focus on. And also 15, 16-year-old girls, when you look at participation in physical activity, then there is a drop at that age, especially for girls, that they are quitting doing sports, they don't like sports. And yeah, there are different interests coming in during the time period. So this is really very sensitive age of 15, 16 years, especially for girls. So regarding health behaviors, that was very very dissatisfying outcomes, because only about 6.5% of adolescents indicated that they engage in physical activity according to World Health Organization. It's very, very small percentage. And boys, 11, 13-year-old, a little bit more, like 3 hours per week. But the girls, as you could see, only 1 hour, especially 15, 16-year-old. Also, information technology use, yes, most of kids use more than 3 hours during weekends, 71%, while during working days, about 65, which is still a lot. And of course, 3 hours, it's very, actually not as much, but some, I know that they are using 7 hours, 6 hours, and they stay up late night. So that was, yeah, very, very kind of important to acknowledge that that actually those 3 hours would be optimal time to use internet or social media, but they are using a lot more hours for games and different reasons. And second study was when we were involving also students from special education programs, and 67 students were with chronic health conditions. For example, ADHD, autism spectrum disorder, like moderate to light level, learning disability, cerebral palsy, and 103 students from general education. And again, you could see main age of these two groups. And we had some surprises actually in this study, because like regarding problematic internet use scores, you see that there is no significant difference, like 21%, about 20% from each of the groups were using internet at some risk. But there were more students without disability, like blue, as you see here. Yeah, blue colors are for students without disability. As you could see, screen time was more indicated, more reported by students without disability. So students with disability actually didn't use screen time as much as students without disability. Maybe for some reasons, we don't know that. Also, results of moderate vigorous physical activity. This is not surprising that students, boys particularly without chronic health conditions, they were more involved in physical activity than students with chronic health conditions. But here there were surprises, because we saw that more students without disability are indicating subjective health complaints. Like, as you could see, there was a very significant difference between general education students indicating depression, irritability, bad mood, nervousness, difficulty falling asleep, than students with disability. So this is what we should actually explore more deeper. Like, maybe students without disability are more sensitive. They are perceiving any change in their body at a higher like sensations than students with disability. But yeah, this was surprising that we saw that students without disability actually complaining more about their health, and association between problematic internet use in general education students. So it was related to screen time on weekends, fast food. Actually, what was also indicated that they are eating fast food by being next to computers. So basically playing games and eating something like some chips or having some other fast food next to them while playing on a computer, and also nervousness. So these were three factors or variables which were associated with problematic internet use, while for children with chronic health conditions, then interestingly, they didn't have this was related to low consumption of veggies and fruits, and also to psychological health complaints during the week. So yeah, just few
I'm sorry,
last
Professor
slides.
Aya.
Yes.
Do you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
5 minutes. I'm sorry.
Yes. The last few slides, just yeah, final slides.
Yeah,
So
nice.
currently we are working on a national project where we are collaborating with other universities, as you see on the top in the bottom of the slide. And this project is about innovative technologies to promote sports achievements, but not just achievements in like out of school sports, but also in physical education. So basically, it's a project which is financed by Ministry of Education and Science in Latvia, and it's a first project ever in sports science in Latvia, which is financed by government. And we hope that this project will give us a lot of data and instruments for sports science specialists in future to implement new methodologies and innovative technologies to help improve and increase effectiveness of achieved results, not just in sport, but also in physical education. And yeah, just my another hat, what I'm wearing, I'm ex-president of European Federation of Adapted Physical Activity, and I know that there are a lot of researchers among you in this conference. So we are very proud of our journal, European Journal of Adapted Physical Activity. It's an open access, free journal with no charges for publication. So we are welcoming and offering you to publish and send your research studies to this journal. It's indexed in Scopus, and every 2 years, we are organizing European Congress in adapted physical activity. So those who are interested in adapted physical activity, inclusive physical education, adapted sports, so you are very welcome to follow our website. And in 2 years, there will be a next Congress in very beautiful city of Europe, in Prague, in Czech Republic. And in 2026, we are organizing our next conference. Yeah, this was my last slide, and thank you for your attention. I'll be happy to answer questions if there will be any.
Thank you very much, Professor Aya Klavina. Okay, giving applause for Professor Aya. Okay, now we are going to question and ask. Is there Professor Rafael Martinez in?
Yes, okay, I'm here.
Yeah, thank you, Professor Rafa, for waiting us for the presentation. Great presentation for both of you guys. And there are so many questions here, and I would like to asking first for Professor Rafael Martinez. You said that to improving performance must be provide the objective data. My question is, which one do you prefer to collect objective data with? That's a GPS, or that's the analytic for integrate with the tennis or the sport itself? Which one?
Okay, thank you for the question. I think it depends a lot on the objective, on the goal, and also on the technologies that are available. So usually, what we find is when working with pro athletes, then you have access to many more technologies, and you have access to different data. And when working with younger athletes, then you have less access to this type of technologies. So basically, depending on that, and I couldn't tell you that's the most appropriate. So depending, I would say the first thing is what are the type of athletes and the access that you have to the technology. So I'm sorry that I cannot give you an answer in terms of what is the best one, but I would say it depends. It depends on these characteristics.
Collected, yeah, Professor. And the second one, we had a question about how we collect the data every time, right? Every day. So how we integrate that data to our training program, something? For example, if someone error is 56%, something that like code coverage, this distance is 4 point something, and then how we creating the program from that analysis?
Yep. Okay. we can use data in the, I would say, in the different areas of training. So maybe I was more focused on the tactical side, but also it's important to get data from a biomechanical perspective or the technical perspective. It's also very important the data for fitness from a fitness perspective. So in my presentation, I show some examples of distance covered and load and this type of things. So getting this data is also very, very important. And also on the mental side, that we can analyze also from in a more objective way, what are the mental skills that the athletes should work on. So then apart from the different areas, then we can apply this data in different ways. So one way can be to prepare the competitions. So for example, from a tactical perspective, based on this data, we can prepare our athletes to play against one opponent, or what are the characteristics of our player or the aspects that we should work on in our training. So we can prepare matches, we can also prepare our trainings, and also from a periodization perspective. By having this data, it can drive us or help us to define what are the goals for the periodization. So the data should be used in many different ways, and also I think it's a key component when giving feedback to the athletes, because sometimes when the feedback is not based on data, it's an opinion. For example, is one example that I always use is just imagine that our player, our athlete, has finished a match, and we tell the athlete, you should be more aggressive during the match. And the athlete says that, no, I think I was aggressive enough. And the coach says, no, I don't think so. So it's impossible to, it's like we are arguing, and we have opinions. But if I have the data, and I can tell the player that, look, usually you do, I don't know, 15 winners per match, and today you did 10. Usually you finish 60% of the points inside the court, and today was only 40. So this type of indicators, by having this data and these indicators, our feedback is objective, and it cannot be discussed in terms of this is objective, so this is not an opinion. And this is something that is very important.
But not least is like, okay, how you divided the data? What is the data for the benchmarking, or the data for, okay, this is for the information only? How you divided by that to condition? This data for the benchmarking or this data for the information? How you choosing? Oh, this is data for the benchmarking. How this is data for the information for the future? Something like that.
Again, as I said before, I think the question is very general, and depending on our goals and the characteristics of our players or our athletes, then we can define that. It's like defining the indicators. So what are the most important indicators in terms of benchmarking, or yes, or just information? So it depends on the process where the athlete is. It depends on our goals or our periodization, our planning for the next months or for the next year. But trying to give you an answer, basically the information that we can use as a benchmark is the information that we can compare with other players. So when we can compare with others, then yeah, we can measure it, and to see if we need to improve or not. Or when we get information or data about our athlete from the past. some past competitions or past trainings. And by having that, then we can compare. So when we cannot compare the data, then this is only for information. So I would say that this is the difference. When we can compare with ourselves or with others, then we can use the data in this way. So when we cannot compare the data, we have just information. So this data is only for information. So I'm not sure if I answered your question.
I will give you a question and ask for Professor Aya, and we had a question from our audience, please. Oh, I think this is your student.
Hello, Prof. Aya. How are you?
Hello, Rizky. I'm good.
Okay, I'm happy. I'm very grateful for you being my supervisor, Professor Aya. And thankfully, you also willing to be able to become our wonderful speaker in here. So we get the insight and then many idea regarding to your presentation as well. Even though during our discussion, I get so many idea for develop the PE, especially in PE and physical education, physical activity in Indonesia. Professor Aya, my college very curious about the physical education in Latvia, Prof. Could you give the overview about the general physical education in Latvia? So it will give us the idea because in Indonesia right now we currently develop the curriculum in order to make our physical education curriculum more meaningful, and then in order also to decrease the number of inactive students and to rise up the physical fitness in physical education.
Yeah, hi Rizky, nice to see you again, and yeah, really looking forward to see you in Riga, back in Riga. And yeah, thank you for question. It's very comprehensive, but I try to make it as short as possible. Currently, our education programs through all age groups are going through a lot of reforms. And I think reforms have been since I was in schools, and they are not stopping. Always there are some reforms. So current reforms regarding physical education are indicating that the physical education is competence-based. That means that physical education teachers have a lot of, let's say, freedom, but freedom in the brackets, that according level of children development and environmental conditions, access to equipment, access to sport facilities, they are quite free to choose what to include in the content of the program. But in Latvia, comparing to other European countries, we have a unique situation because we have physical education teachers from preschool. So in preschools, we have physical education teachers with a background in sports science, and also in elementary up to high school. In some other countries, like in Lithuania, for example, elementary school children are taught in physical education by classroom teacher, which is also teaching mathematics, reading, and other subjects. So this is why in our country it's a little bit different, but normally there are 2 or 3 physical education classes. It depends on school, yeah. So like if you talk about assessment, that again, this is why we have this national project today going on, and this will be also helping to give some evidence-based instruments. For example, in my work package, which is adapted physical activity, we will create an online tool or methodology for teachers to use how to assess students with disability in a physical education, because this is what they are always complaining that they don't have enough objective assessment instruments, what to use in order to assess competences of children, not just in physical skills, but also their like cognition and knowledge about their body, lifestyle, like healthy lifestyle behaviors, nutrition, and so on. So yeah, I cannot really give you ready like instruments or content program which is available like standardized, because yeah, there are guidelines which are provided by ministry, but a lot of is up to teachers, schools, school administrations, and local municipalities. I'm not sure if I answer a question, but that probably needs a longer discussion. Thank you. Looking forward.
And next
Thank you.
question for Professor Aya once more. The implementation of physical education in Indonesia for students that have disability was already joined with the regular student that have disability student, which is, we call it as inclusion program. But in the field, it becomes an obstacle for teacher to teach them who has disability that study with the regular student, because the teacher has to watch to different ability on doing physical activity. So my question is, how about the implementation of inclusion program in your country, and how you solve the obstacle? Thank you.
Yeah, thank you for this question. I think it's a never-ending discussion, how to release a burden on shoulders of physical education teachers if they have to teach in inclusive classroom. And nowadays, I think every classroom is inclusive. It doesn't matter if you have students with disability or you have just students without disability, because there are so many different developmental levels among even the same age students without disabilities, that teachers have to adjust and to be very creative to provide physical education that everybody participates successfully. And again, what I'm also in Latvia, when we have professional development programs for teachers, like before the school year starts, we give them different ideas, like for example, using a collaborative learning approach, and to think about how to involve more skilled students in the class, in groups, and to help students with less skills to participate in physical education, like peer tutoring, for example. Also, I don't know how large are classes in Indonesia. In Latvia, average number of students in class is about 30 students. And again, it's quite a lot if you have 2 students with autism spectrum, 2 students with maybe mild physical limitations. But this is how we try to provide teachers with useful and cost-effective instructions and help them to use other students in a class and make goals which are fitting every student in a class, and not maybe targeting like quantitative results, like how fast, how quickly, like how much did they do, but look at collaboration. Like just a final remark from Sweden, they are dividing the grade they are giving to students in physical education in 4 parts. So one part is how much student is participating in physical education, like whether he or she is attending physical education. Then how is a collaboration skills? What are collaboration? Whether the student wants and is encouraged to collaborate with other students in class. Then third part is about initiating interactions and how much they helping each other, like collaboration skills. And then only final 25% is given for physical performance. So again, it's it's not one recipe for all situations. Every case is very different and probably depends from a class to class, age groups, and type of disability or type of students in the class. But yeah, of course, if there are questions from students or teachers, I always trying to help them to find solution. Yeah, this is very short answer, which was not very short actually.
Thank you very much. Okay, once again, giving applause for both presenter today. Okay. The next time is I will give you a symbolic online, yeah, one by one for Professor Martinez Gallego first, and then the second is for Professor Aya, and for the first time, Martinez Gallego, please, for the symbolic. Okay, giving applause.
Thank you very much.
Okay, the second one is Professor Aya.
Thank you. Thank you again for inviting, and it has been a pleasure to be part of your conference. Thank you.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. Okay. Thank you very much for both of you to have a presentation today. And once again, I would like to thank both of you, Professor Rafael Martinez Gallego and Professor Ayla Clavina, for the time being present about in this seminar, International Conference, Sports Science, Physical Education and Health. And I hope we are gonna meeting again for the next time. Thank you very much once again. And then I have to close this international seminar with terima kasih or thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks.
Thank you very much.
Bye-bye.
It was a pleasure. Bye-bye.
Thank you very much for our moderator for today and sure for our speaker. And yeah.
All right, after having such an alluring discussion and amazing parallel session, we have finally reached the end of today's event. I am Jovita Alvera Putri and my partner,
Ahmad Syahal.
from Duta Universitas Negeri Jakarta, would like to give our gratitude and farewell.
Hope students and guests enjoy today's event. Thank you so much for your participation today.
And we'll see you
Next
next year.
year.
Good afternoon and
Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.